Richard here. I wanted to go over Armant's The Hague, which is another ridiculous playthrough attempt. He actually map wipes this. I don't remember exactly how he did it, but he spreads his forces pretty thin and somehow manages to wrap things up. A fun fact that Armand reminded me of on the last video was that major hexes on bridges do not allow purchasable units. I don't know how often that's relevant, but it's relevant at The Hague, so that's why he got away with not blocking that hex. So let's let this go and let's take a look at his composition. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, he tends to be coming with 6 artillery, and he's bringing a level bomber, which is useful for the ships. So yeah, he wasn't content with just getting indecisive. He wanted to map wipe this, which I would have said was impossible. So let's see, he's got 4 tactical bombers. He still has 1 fighter. So yeah, he really mopped this up pretty cleanly. That's a trap that I came up with, so I'm happy to see that executed. So he's going to save those guys. He's not going to use my trick to park units on this bridge hex. He's more ambitious than that. He also fixes the problem of not having enough space by simply putting a ton of units to the right so he can kill units that way. I just assumed there wasn't enough time to take the Hague if you did that. I feel like that's a lucky roll. Um, unless there's attack heroes on the artillery, because that's a Samoa, and artillery isn't really that great against the Samoa. So because of his maneuver here, they didn't attack. Oh, it's because of the scout saw, or no, I mean the fortress saw infantry and the tank could try to hit it. Oh, that's such a good trap. I remember this being executed by Bricata, I think, but I never thought about doing it in ultimate mode because I just assumed you couldn't push up the right. So in turn 2, he took out both forts. This is such a good trap because he can double attack that. This is this is actually the thing that impresses me the most about Armant's play is the choreography is something I've never seen before. He kind of makes Soren look like an amateur. Think about the planning to put a tactical bomber up here to finish a unit off, and you knew the tank would come, and then you'd force the tank out and double tactical bomb it. I have to assume it took him many hours to figure out how to do that. The other thing is he was talking about the statistics with Kesha, and it's actually less risky to attack into close defense zones with him if the unit is relatively suppressed because of the +2 on close defense. Um, it's not like super likely that there's a lot of damage that would be done to Kesha. I mean, I think we kind of knew that, but um, it hasn't really been explored that much using Kesha that way. Oh yeah, he found my sneaky trick to get save that paratrooper. It's crazy how much he got done in 2 turns. He's buying himself time too because the infantry can see the artillery, so his auxiliary units don't get attacked. Oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed, his overstrength is slowly increasing, and that will become more apparent. I think after Sedan, he starts doing that. So I think even Armant is acknowledging that he has to put more prestige in scenarios as it goes on. Mm. So he's assaulting that on turn 3. So this really surprised me that Kesha on a river hex on a city wouldn't get attacked. I just find that incredible because let's see, we've got 3 infantry units that can reach him. I'm just really surprised by that. That's part of the reason I'm so slow pushing through. Oh, what is that place called? That city is because I can't just put my armor units in close defense zones. But look at that. The infantry moves up and doesn't. I'm really surprised. You have a tank in a close defense zone on a river hex. I think that's a river hex. It's a 15 strength regular unit. It should attack. I'm just really surprised Kesha's not attacked there. It makes a big difference if you can put armor in close defense zones. I mean, he even kills like this useless anti-tank. So his idea is he's not going to give up this airfield so he can easily refuel his planes. That's the correct plan. I agree. I just feel like every time I attack with Kesha like that, I would take damage. That has been my experience. So that auxiliary paratrooper, that's helpful. He has him join the right group. So yeah, that'll give him some more firepower. It's funny to me, he doesn't even use the paratroopers in the south for a while. Yeah, I don't. I mean, he map wipes this. He doesn't even fully use all the auxiliary units, but it makes sense. He's protecting the airfield. This is that's a great trap. That's lucky. In my experience, infantry attacking Panzer threes in the open tend to do 1 to 3 damage. See, there you go. Yeah, that's normal. My 88s don't normally fully suppress a plane by themselves. But I don't know, but maybe they do with these planes because they're so weak. Yeah, he's got 3 overstrength on those guys. So that's against my philosophy because of soft cap. I don't want to break soft cap because of artillery overstrength, but he clearly thinks he needs it for this map. And the reason is so he can kill these 1 or 2 strength units more reliably. He's also put his paratroopers in trucks. That's the other thing is he has trucks with his units, so he can move faster. I think there's some lucky rolls there. It's interesting where he puts his Stukas. Like getting these unimportant side hexes is where he puts them. It's not what I would have thought. Yeah, and I agree. Put Kesha in there. He's untouchable. But I don't know if I agree with putting the Panzer III in the city because the scout could pick up that hex. I would have probably put the Panzer III somewhere else. So now he can start doing adventurous things because the punch of the counterattack is weak. that would be what I would expect. We're almost halfway through, and you're probably wondering, how did he map wipe this? This is very risky. Oh, maybe he didn't put the scout on the left because he wants it over on the right. Like, notice again, he moves this guy back here to take this and not use the scout. That was hilarious. That happens more often than you would think it would. Okay, maybe the point was he wanted to bring the scout to the right. Interesting. Yeah, with Manstein, tanks are not afraid of infantry in trenches. Yeah, he does a great job of getting a surrender pocket going. Then the scout comes over to help. He had a perfectly suppressed tank, so he got an appalling. He got like 41 prestige from that. Yeah, this is the thing. He is next level on the prestige from surrenders. I think Goose would just be amazed at what he's doing with prestige. It reminds me of Goose's Africa Corps playthrough. This crazy prestige from surrenders. So I think there's just 2 armored units left and 3 artillery pieces. Wow, that 88 cleaned house. Did did the Netherlands like just have really bad air force in Belgium? I just watching this and looking at the destruction. I wonder if that's historically accurate. They just had terrible planes. Actually, this would be Denmark. Did the Danish have terrible planes? Because they seem like the 88 guns just tearing them apart. Hmm. Yeah, that movement plus 188 gun was really helpful on the right flank. Is he gonna get a surrender there? Look at that. Unbelievable. He had to get the surrender so his unit wouldn't take damage. Now, what I'm confused about is this guy could swing around and hit. He had to reload to make sure. I bet he had to reload once just because a rugged defense happened. Yeah, he's going all out. This is really dangerous. I feel like he had to reload for that one. A 6 strength tank in the woods is really not good. I don't know why he didn't attack the artillery with this paratrooper first. Oh, he wanted to surrender, but why attack? That I'm not following. I feel like he wasted an attack there. But I was confused why this infantry didn't come around the previous turn and hit the artillery, unless it's on a passive position. This might be a passive unit. So in turn 10, he's in the Hague. I don't think you can do it faster than that. And thankfully, this is a passive unit, so the Panzerjäger doesn't get attacked. For some reason, the paratroopers are more attractive than the Panzerjäger. It's good. He pulls out these ships, so now he can start bombing them. Yeah. He probably had to reload on these ships because a Heinkel isn't expected to do 10 damage, I don't think. Probably like 6. It's amazing though how much he can do. It makes me think that there's probably a way to play these maps without reloading, but the amount of memorization you would have to do is stupid. Unreasonable. Yeah, I mean, a decisive victory in 12 turns is definitely possible, which is crazy to think about. So he can recklessly attack now because the enemy is broken. Yeah, he's cleaning up. He probably realized he couldn't map wipe without taking out that air defense earlier. But yeah, it took him every turn to map wipe this. I'm surprised. That's a little risky, I think. So there's like 7 units left. You probably had to reload to avoid damage there. But he was close to the map wipe, so I'm assuming he wanted to do it that way. Yeah, he map wiped it. The only thing that would be more impressive is if he map wiped it and farmed it. But it looked like he had his hands full with just map wiping it. Um, so there you have it. A lot is possible. I really don't know what to say. Who would have thought you could map wipe this in ultimate mode? Until next time.